of my favorite electric vehicles on the market today. It's the Hyundai Inster Cross. This is kind of the crossover or SUV version of the Inster city car, slightly more clearance than the regular version. Sorry about the rain today. It's just been raining all week, and in fact the road that I usually test on has been flooded, and including the winding road that I test on has been flooded as well. So it's going to be a short video today, but I'll hopefully give you a bit of a preview of this cute little car. Fully electric, and it actually makes sense as an electric vehicle, so I'd say this is good for a second vehicle. And if you're like me, you've got a bit of mechanical sympathy, you don't like starting a petrol or diesel engine for a short trip down to the shop, turn it off, and then come back home and turn it off again, so it doesn't actually reach normal operating temperature. This is perfect as an alternative or a second vehicle, so you don't have to do that. You can just use this to run down to the shops, run down to the gym or whatever. Only problem with it is, well, yeah, one of the only problems is it is expensive. This is $45,000 excluding on roads, which is a lot of money for a small city car, especially if you're using it as a second vehicle. It's also quite small, so you can't really, I mean, you could use it as a daily if you're just a very small family or just a couple or something like that, or a single even. But yeah, there's not that much space inside compared with what else you can get for $45,000. It looks really cute. I love what Hyundai has done with the design here. It stands out as something unique, but it doesn't have any kind of awkward bits, and it's all very consistent, like the front matches the back and so on. I love these wheels as well. They kind of give it a retro look, almost like rally car wheels, but they're actually pretty big for this size vehicle. You can get this with two different battery sizes, 42 kilowatt hours and 49 kilowatt hours. The long range, not 49 kilowatt hours. The Inster Cross is only available with the 49 kilowatt hour battery. The range is 360 kilometers if you don't opt for the roof basket. It's got this funny roof basket option you can have, but that drops the range to around 293 kilometers. That's a decent hit to the range from 360 down to 293. Just shows aerodynamics does play a big role here. The main attraction to this though is the interior. So we'll jump inside and get out of this rain. It's such a funky and cool setup. You've got a shelf that runs all the way across the dash, separated climate controls, which is great, and then your touch screen up above, digital screen for the instrument cluster, some more buttons down to the side there, and yeah, lots of trays and storage options, a wireless charger, and even vehicle to load capability down there. You've got 250 volts, 16 amp, normal Australian household plug. In the front here, you've got this kind of bench seat, although you can't sit here, but it's all connected up as one big bench, kind of like the Citroen Cactus a little bit. Cup holders embedded in there, a retractable armrest, and yeah, decent storage all round. It is very plasticky, so all of this, I mean, it's soft touch on the side there, but it's all plasticky, and Hyundai has gone with the sort of PET recycled plastic for a lot of the materials in here, which is, I mean, it is good to see recycled materials, but sometimes I would prefer real leather, especially if you're paying a premium like this, $45,000. I'd expect quality leather seats for something like this. It's just, I mean, it feels durable and it's relatively soft, but it doesn't have that kind of rich smell of leather and that quality feel. It does feel quite plasticky. This has got the sunroof option as well, and green contrast stitching with the green seats at the bottom. More green detailing there. Just because this is a small city car, you might think there's not much room, but check out the amount of space here. You've got massive amount of leg room for this style of vehicle, and the floor is completely flat. You can actually slide the seat forward and back as well. It is just a two-seater in the back, but my head is not that close to the ceiling, considering this is a city car again. If you jumped into a equivalent or petrol rival, I'd be pretty cramped back here, but the legroom in particular is very impressive. You don't really have any amenities back here, like cup holders or a center armrest, for example. Even in the doors, you don't really have bottle holders, but it is quite a small vehicle. You can access, for example, the climate will get back here pretty easily, and you do have some storage on the doors there. And up at the back, you probably expect not much boot space, and you'd be right, it is quite petite. But don't forget, you can slide this seat forward a little bit to open up a bit more space, and you can fold them down and they go completely flat. So if you can imagine both of them down, you've got a nice big loading space, completely flat as well. Under the bonnet, we've got an 84.5 kilowatt 147 Newton meter electric motor for front wheel drive with a single speed automatic. It would be interesting if they did a four wheel drive version of this with twin electric motors, maybe an N model, but as it is, I think it's perfect. You know, it's just a city car. It's not meant for rally car performance. We'll go for a drive and we'll just check out the handling on a bit of a country road. And then we'll do some 0 to 100 runs as well on a regular road. But just keep in mind, it is saturated. I'll try and book in the regular Insta later on and do the usual handling test and the usual full performance test. All right, first things first, let's do the 0 to 100. I'm not going to do the full performance test on the private road as usual because it's just so wet. We'll just do a bit of a 0 to 100 run here just to see. I've got the V-Box mounted up there. I'll leave the stability control on for the first one and I'll do another one with it off. I think it's going to spin the wheels a bit. We'll put it into the sport mode, hit go. That is 100. The road does start to go up there just as we hit 100. It's only slightly, but it's just a bit of a guide anyway. That looks like it's done. 10.17. By the way, I've got 83% battery. Actually, we'll do that again with the stability off and I'll turn the climate completely off. The aircon wasn't on, it's just the fan was on. All right, stability control completely off. And the climate is completely off. Might even be able to do the quarter mile because it's not going to be a high speed anyway, but I'll keep it going just as it starts to go up the little hill there to see if we can register a quarter mile. No wheel spin at all off the line, even with the stability off. There's 100. That looks like it's done 10.1 that time. 10.10. It didn't quite reach the quarter mile. Might do one more just so we can register a quarter mile. Yeah, so that's pretty zippy. 10.1 seconds, 0 to 100. I think that's about right for a small little city car like this. I guess the advantage of being electric, you've got instant throttle response, which you wouldn't get with a petrol equivalent of a little city car like this. I'll just show you the kind of roll-on acceleration for 50 kilometers an hour, full throttle, and you get that instant pickup. It's not a huge pickup, but it is instant. So that can be fun when you're driving around little side streets and so on in the city and just zipping about. Sorry about the weather today, it's just been raining all week, so I thought I'd better go out and do the video anyway. Watch out, duckies. But yeah, hopefully the sound is coming through okay. As per typical with modern Hyundai products, the ride quality is very nice. It strikes the perfect balance between sportiness and sturdy body stability, but also comfort, so when you're on country roads like this, it can absorb the bumps quite easily. Coming around here, there's lots of bumps and little potholes, and the wheels are remaining firmly planted on the road, which is what you want. That's going to provide good handling and good grip, but still it's not bone-jarringly stiff that it becomes uncomfortable. I feel like this has got good confidence for a vehicle like this anyway. Lots of water all over the road, and despite being a relatively lightweight vehicle, it doesn't seem to be aquaplaning. It's always good. Keeping the wheels planted on the tarmac where the grip is. Yeah, so look at this going through here. There's lots of little patchwork and potholes and all sorts of stuff, but this is remaining very compliant, but also comfortable. And then in terms of the handling, yeah, it's playful. It's got some body roll, but at a sort of fun level where you can throw the body around a little bit to your advantage. This is not meant to be a sports car, but I think it's fun for what it is. That's the sort of underlying quality of this vehicle. It's just made for fun, which, you know, you don't really get with city cars. They're more about utility and practicality. this you could take for a drive on a Sunday morning and enjoy yourself. In terms of efficiency, this is using 15 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That's over a distance of 2,600 kilometers. They weren't all our kilometers, but or our driving. So I don't know what the previous tester conditions were like. Hopefully better than this. But yeah, that's a bit of sporty driving, but also lots of highway as well. That's very good rating for a modern electric vehicle. In terms of visibility, yeah, this is really good. I can see around me very easily. The pillars are relatively thin. I can see over that mirror, and even out the back, there's a good view because of this kind of relatively thin pillars. It's also an upright cabin orientation, so you've got nice tall windows. This is a perfect vehicle to drive around in the city in difficult tight parking spots and all that sort of thing. Overall, yeah, this is a fun little vehicle. I think the price is a little bit too high. Like if this was around 30,000 or 35,000 for the top spec model, it'll just be a bit more viable as a second vehicle. I mean, you could use this as a daily as well if you're driving relatively short distances or live in the city, or at least a relatively dense suburb, not driving very far on a daily basis. Then yeah, this is absolutely perfect. Sorry I couldn't do a more in-depth review today. It's just so wet. I'll try and book in the regular Insta top spec model, and we'll go do the full performance testing as well as get on the winding road. In the meantime, you can check out the written review on the website, linked in the description.